Welcome everyone to on a mission.
Hello.
Hi.
Sorry,
Welcome.
I have our show up on my other monitor, and with all the sound issues that we were having, I forgot to mute it. So I was like
Oh,
very confused as to what was real and what was like in
your
the
face
future.
made me worried that I was talking and nothing was coming out.
No, I was very confused because like I was looking at you live. I have you in front of me live, but then I realized that I was hearing like sounds from the past. I think we're okay now. We're good. Computers.
Oh my gosh, you guys, we're having a little technical difficulties tonight getting started, but that's okay. We're so excited. We have a special guest, and Veda and I have been talking about this guest for a while. I'm excited to talk to her. I've seen her take over the wrestling scene here in Texas. And so we're excited. We're getting ready for Edge of Glory. We have tickets on sale at missionprowrestling.com. It's going to be streamed on Title Match Network, and we have sponsorships open. So sponsorships are really exciting. You can sponsor an individual wrestler, which you can see some of those on the poster, and we'll have some other announcements coming soon with the matches, and the matches are going to be announced starting tomorrow. So
Yeah, so
follow,
if you
like,
when the matches are getting announced, if you see like a particular match that you would like to support, always up to
yeah.
that sort of sponsorship,
You can sponsor a
so
match. You can even sponsor the whole show. If you're a huge fan of Mission Pro, you can even be our show sponsor. So those are open as well. I wanted to say hi to everyone in the chat. I see some regulars. We have Mongrovian Mike. We have Neil. We have Front Row. We have Matthew. And I see we have some Hyan fans as well in the chat. That's exciting. We have a very special guest. I'm excited for this episode.
yes.
So how are you, Veda, this week on your, you've been so busy. Have you, had a favorite moment so far? Because I think I have mine, just from your Twitter. I saw it a
Oh,
little while ago.
oh my gosh. So, I as a little bit of background information, particularly on my Twitch streams, it's been a joke for a long time that I absolutely hate Jimmy Buffett. I don't like the music. I do not like any of it. The vibe is not for me. And then for a while we were constantly making references to the Jimmy Buffett Margaritaville frozen concoction maker, which is just a very expensive blender. And like that became a joke.
It
And
works
suddenly
though.
like
It
it
works.
suddenly this joke like has become like an ironic love for Jimmy Buffett maybe. Anyway, they made Margaritaville official Crocs and I bought them. They have a shaker of check my Twitter for all the information.
It's legit amazing, and I was gonna make a joke tonight and actually make margaritas and bring them on for you, but I'm not drinking, so I was like, well, that's just gonna tease me, because margaritas are my favorite summer pastime.
Again, it is an anti-margarita stance. I actually had a margarita yesterday.
Have you been to Margaritaville? There's many locations.
So I have actively avoided Margaritaville so many times. There's many pictures of me like shaking my fist at the sign. I really tried, but it's one of those things like you talk about it so much and like you joke about it so much that all of a sudden like you get really affectionate for it. Anyway, the Margaritaville Crocs, they have a salt shaker, they have ice cubes, and the best thing of all, and I didn't even realize this until they arrived at my home. I got home this morning from they were here. There's a little parrot on the side, of course, for the parrot heads, but the tail is a bottle opener.
Yes, that's amazing. See, how can you not like that?
It's out of control. They are the ugliest shoes I've ever seen in my life. I love them. I'm very, very excited about this purchase.
I love it. So, Veda, that is on our list. We're going to do a vlog one day where Emily and Veda conquer Margaritaville.
We go to Margaritaville. They're all over the place. There's everywhere from restaurants to resorts.
Yeah, we're going to do it. And he's had very famous cameos in movies.
Yes. Yeah, so, he's everywhere.
He's everywhere. Anyway, we went on a tangent. We'll definitely ask Hyan about her adventures if she wants to go to Margaritaville. We're going to ask.
How do you feel about Jimmy Buffett, cheeseburgers, etc.?
It's a classic question. All right. Well, I think we should. So R.A. Davis joined, John Perry, Brent Ross, some of our favorite chat members and our fans. So I think we need to get to the fun conversation
Let's
here.
do it.
I want to welcome our special guest, Hyan, who is taking over the wrestling scene, and we're going to talk about some exciting things coming up, especially Mission Pro Wrestling. So everyone give her a Mission Pro welcome.
Hi.
Hi. How are you doing? Welcome to On a Mission. I'm so happy you're here.
Thank you for having me. This is exciting.
The chat is saying hello to you as well.
Hi, chat. Hello.
Yes, the chat has been talking about having you on this show for a long time. You have been one of our top requested. So when we always ask how and when can we bring in new talent for Mission Pro Wrestling, you have always been tagged, and it has always been one of the top talents that have been requested. So I wanted to let you know that.
Yeah, I was shocked to find out that this was going to be your debut, but then I started thinking about like how busy you are, and I'm like, okay, that makes a little more sense. You're everywhere, but I'm really excited. Everyone's super pumped to have you in Mission Pro, and you know, it's Texas. It makes sense. You should be there.
Yeah, it's cool because there's not a lot of like women-centric promotions in Texas, or really just in general. But it's really cool to be a part of that. It's a community. I feel like women's wrestling. It definitely is.
Yeah, I mean, thinking about that, and I mean, you are all over the Texas map. I mean, so I moved to Texas 2 years ago, and I was researching the Texas wrestling scene because I came from California to Texas. So I had to know, like, who are these top talents, who are these top promotions, and you were always like in the top of the list, going all over the place. So how does that feel to be like this top talent in Texas and just have really grown such a following here and around the world?
It's such a like weird like feeling. I don't know how to describe it. Maybe it's me just like being like overly humble or whatever, but it is really cool to see like my name come up a lot. And sometimes I'm like, are they just like gassing me up? I don't know if this is real or not, you know? But it feels really nice, you know. I'm working on taking the compliment.
Yeah, it's hard to kind of accept those things when people come and tell you things, right?
Yeah.
So I wanted to, before we kind of get to Mission Pro stuff, I know that you have such a long history and background loving wrestling, and as a kid and with your family. Can you talk a little bit about how that love grew into what you do now?
Yeah, so like my half of my family is like Mexican, right? Born and raised. And they moved to the United States, Texas in the 80s. And around that time, they were doing like Paul Bosch was running his Houston promotion in the Houston Coliseum. And then it was cheap and it was something to do on a Friday. And as like immigrants, that's what like my family would go do every weekend. And when I got a little bit older, my grandpa was the one that introduced me to pro wrestling. And it was cool because my whole family was into it, not just like me and my cousins. It was like me, my grandpa, my uncles, my aunts. So we would like, I remember back in the day when they would have like live events on like SmackDown. I watched SmackDown. I didn't watch Raw because I didn't have cable back in the day. But at the bottom of the screen, it'd be like coming to these towns, and I would just like look like, oh, mom, they're coming to Houston. We gotta go. And I never really grew out of it. I think maybe a little bit when I was in middle school, but then I remember being in college and Total Divas was like a thing. I was like, oh, this is cool. I started watching that, and it actually got me back into wrestling. And from there, I just couldn't stop.
So I've heard that from a lot of people. I not so much like I don't relate so much with the Total Divas thing because I was a wrestling nerd the whole time. But I actually have heard that from a lot of people that shows like that got them back into wrestling because it was the time where we like stopped pretending it was real and that we were not like real people. And I feel like that really opened it up. Like the fact that like you can kind of be yourself and and not have to necessarily, you can play like a crazy character, but you don't have to. You could just be
Yeah.
an athlete and you could just be a wrestler. And I feel like that really connects with a lot of people. I don't know. I hear that story a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I also feel like it's a you get to see kind of behind the scenes of what it takes to be a wrestler, and you get to connect with these athletes on a human level. And I feel like there's that. I mean, there's always the little drama there too, but it adds to like the storytelling elements of just the whole lifestyle and
Yeah.
just what it takes to go into it. And
Could
that's
you
why
do a
it's
reality
interesting that,
show? I have to
yeah, the
ask.
reality shows,
Could you do
yeah.
a reality show aspect? Are you interested in that? Or is that like a little too much real?
I think I could do it. Uh, People have told me that I could do like a reality TV show just 'cause like I'm really chill like when you meet me at like shows, but like back home I'm just like a goon. And that's kind of like what my friends know me as. So I think I could actually do it. But I think um like people have to be like in full glam, right? And I think I would just get annoyed with that eventually.
Sometimes they're in full glam, and sometimes like there's a more dramatic shot where like they're not, like if
Yeah.
you watch the Kardashians and all that stuff, sometimes they're like at the gym and they're not in full makeup.
Yeah, this is how you would see me every day if I was on a reality TV show.
Which is like,
So
I always just envision like a makeup artist like following people around, like
yeah,
trying to get
touching
something
up.
on the
Yeah.
face.
Yeah.
So you said you used to go to a lot of live events when you were a kid. Did you see yourself like pursuing professional wrestling as a kid, or was it more just entertainment then for you? Was that a dream when you were a kid, or just, a fun thing to do?
No, it was definitely like something that I wanted to do.
Mm.
Like me and my cousins would practice like wrestling moves on each other.
Yes.
Like and when I told my mom that I was like training, she was like, I thought you kind of grew out of that. No.
It's so funny. We've talked to so many wrestlers that parents have a very interesting reaction to hearing that their kids are training. Some are like super supportive, some are kind of on the fence, some are worried. So
Yeah.
how did like I mean, your mom's reaction obviously, but how did the rest of your family react when you're like, I'm taking this serious. This is gonna be my life goal.
My uncles and my aunts and my cousins, they were not, like, surprised at all. They're like, "Yeah, that seems about right for her." My mom, though, she was like, because I went to college and I graduated, so my mom was like, "What are you doing? Like, you have a degree, why are you doing this? Like, you should be pursuing, like, a job and, security and all those things."
Yeah.
And you're like,
And she
no,
gets
I'm gonna drive 14 hours this weekend to
Yeah.
pretend to fight.
On $10.
Yeah, right? And I mean, now she's, like, super supportive, especially now that she sees me, like, traveling a lot more and, like, going to different countries. She's really, really, like, supportive of that, but she just gets really worried that I'm gonna get hurt.
Mm.
Um, and, like, there's, like, a funny story where we were, like, at Reality of Wrestling. Um, it was, like, before the show started, and I had brought my mom, and she was just kinda hanging out backstage. Like, all the wrestlers in Texas have, like, met my mom at some point. And, I think I get called into the office, and Booker is like, "Yeah, we're doing a tables match." And I come back out, and I'm talking to my opponent like, "Oh, yeah, we're doing a tables match." My mom overheard, and she's like, "Tables?" And starts yelling at Promise, and is like, "You need to be careful, like, don't hurt my baby."
Oh,
And then,
Oh
like,
no.
oh
afterwards,
no.
Promise went and apologized to my mom, and she put me through a table.
Oh no. I mean, parents can get defensive. They can like get in
They
the ring
do.
too, trying to like stop it all from happening.
Yeah, I've had, like my cousins have, like, ran backstage at, like, a new Texas show because they thought I died. They actually thought I died,
I don't
so
know why I'm laughing. I can
That's
relate,
so
but
funny.
yes.
it was so funny because like, my cousin, like, goes to the back, she's like, "Where's Hyan? Where's Hyan?" Well, she had texted my husband, and he wasn't on his phone because he was, like, doing stuff, like, getting ready
Oh
for his match.
no. So
So
she's like
he didn't.
disaster.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
disaster, and she comes to the back and, like, finds, like, Rachel Rose and, like, looks at her and was like, "Where's Hyan?" Because I had just wrestled her, and then she just sees me, like, laughing in the back, and she's like, "Oh my god, I thought you actually died."
Oh
No.
wow.
But that's so
Yeah,
cool that your cousins who you used to go to wrestling shows with, now they come and watch you. How does that feel?
it's super cool. I think they see me as like this, like almost like a duality. Like they know me to my core, and but then they see me like I'm a very introverted person, so they see me in the
Mhm.
ring and be the complete opposite of that.
Yeah.
And I think it kind of blows their mind. They kind of see it as two different people.
Yeah. I mean, talk about that because I know there's a lot of wrestlers that are either like super extroverted or introverts, true. Like, how how did that evolution evolve when you had to find your kind of style in the ring? And obviously it took a lot of training and a lot of work, but how did you bring all of that out because you just have such energy?
I so I would like watch my matches. I'm very overly critical of myself, but I would like watch my matches and I'm like, I'm missing this and I'm missing that. Like, how do I improve upon these things? And one day, like I just faked it. I just faked confidence one time in the ring. Like I just faked it. And I watched it back and I was like, wow, like this is so much better. I should keep doing that. And it took like faking confidence. And it's funny because the matches where I really don't know what I'm gonna do or what's gonna happen, that's when I feel like I come off more confident than any other match. I feel because I'm overcompensating.
Mhm.
And just like that fake it till you make it now to the point that um, it doesn't feel so forced and I can feel comfortable in just being me out there. I don't feel like I have to like have movement or be doing moves and I to keep myself busy. I can be comfortable in the ring doing nothing and feel confident in myself.
Yeah.
So
I
you
mean,
mentioned traveling a little bit and how like your mom is feeling a little bit better about things now that you've been traveling and having these experiences. So when it comes to travel, where are your favorite places you've been?
The UK, 100%.
And you've
Like
spent a
I
pretty decent amount of time there too.
Yeah, I think probably like in total is maybe like 5 months.
Mhm.
And it was like
wow.
split up into like 2, 3 months and then 2 months, I think.
Mhm.
Or it just felt that way. But it was my favorite place because like the Rev Pro locker room, it reminded me so much of like the reality of wrestling locker room and that like the
Mhm.
wrestlers there are not just cool with each other inside of a wrestling context. Like they all are genuine friends outside of wrestling and everyone hangs out outside of wrestling and wants to see each other succeed. I remember when Michael Oku did the WrestleCon show for Mania, and I was there. I got to see it live because it was in Dallas. But everyone in the UK had like a watch party,
Yep.
like to just to watch him do his match, and I
I
think
uh
that's so cool.
I called those matches, and when I'm calling a show, I'm always, like, following
Yeah.
the hashtags for the next couple days, and there was so much he's incredible, but there was so much support for him from people that I recognize as his peers, like, publicly supporting him, and that's so cool because I think a lot of times we see people, like, are, like, too cool to support people who
Yeah,
are, like, on their level, you know? I don't know if it's, like, fear or what, but it was really cool to see, and you see that a lot with, again, the scene in the UK, but I think Rev Pro especially, and I agree with that. That's super cool.
Yeah. I mean, you also we talked a lot about traveling last episode, and I know that you spent some time in Japan as well.
hmm
So how was that being there and training? And I know it's a whole different style, and I know that's also a future goal of yours as well.
yeah. Like being with Marvelous specifically, I think it just gave me like a different experience than like maybe like other wrestling promotions like that are there because I got to like live in the actual dojo and train with them and we would have like two a day, so a training session in the morning and then one in the afternoon, and I just saw like this incredible dedication to learning and like perfecting your craft that I've never seen
Hmm.
anywhere in the United States. Like I saw a girl training, like she had torn her ACL, she got it surgically repaired, had a knee brace, and we were going through rolls, and I'm like, "What are you doing? Like, she should be resting." And she's like, "No, I'm fine." And like she's doing rolls with us with like one leg. and like training, like literally hopping around on one leg. Like she wanted to do that. She wanted to be there. And that wasn't just like her. I felt like that was just like the culture throughout of
Mhm.
like, we really want to be here. This is what we want to do. And, you know, people that like we see here in America, like people start off like really young, like Roxy, but over
Yeah.
there, it seemed like a lot more common. And it just seemed like there's like this bigger passion there to um, be great. And I thought it was so cool. And the concept too of like you have a protest, like that's insane to me, where we don't have that in the United States. It's really incredible.
Yeah, I mean, what was the biggest takeaways that you took while traveling and wrestling in the UK and Japan that you brought back to Texas?
I would say honestly, like being flexible in how you see wrestling. Like wrestling isn't one way. And they each have their different styles, right? And you kind of have to
Mhm.
be able to adapt to each one. You can't really come into the situation of like, this is what I do and I only do it this way. You have to be very open to changing and adapting and learning from these people. And I felt like, obviously just the training aspect, I brought that back to Texas. When I would come back, I'd be like, oh, can I run training today? And be like, yeah. I'm like, okay, we're going to do what I did in Marvelous. It's going to be cool.
Yeah.
And just bringing that flexibility mindset, it's a big mindset switch, I think. And I feel like the people that go there and do really well are the ones that are able to adapt.
Very cool.
For sure. That's really cool. Uh,
So when you mentioned running training, that's my next question. Obviously, you talked about reality wrestling, Marvelous, all these incredible training programs. Is that something that you're interested in doing more and more? Is like, do you want to like have a school? Is coaching something where you want to go? I mean,
I,
eventually.
I enjoy it. However, I consider myself more of a student than
Mm,
like a
hmm.
teacher because I love to be trained. When I'm the trainer, I'm like, shit, what do I teach these people? Like, what do I do? You know, like, where do I start? Because you have to be very cognizant of like everyone's skill level, right? You can't put together something really complicated, but you don't want to do something easy, right?
mm-hmm.
And so it's very difficult. What I actually really like doing though is like film study with people, is like
So
sitting
important.
down with them. Yeah, like
Mm-hmm.
sitting down with them, having like a match, and when they do something, because it's so easy to get like critiqued after your match, but like to see it and then be like, pause, do you see how you did that there? Cool. Now think if you would have done it like this, you would have gotten maybe a bigger reaction from the crowd. Or, you know, your footing here, it make like the way you're moving here, it gives the impression of um, it doesn't give confidence, you know, when you hold
Mhm.
yourself up and you walk a certain way, that gives confidence, and that's what people like, right? So like being able to like pick those little things apart like in real time with the person versus like afterwards, that has helped me so much. And that's what I try to like do for people, especially because like, you know, there's not like a whole lot of women, experienced women on the independents or in wrestling in general. A lot of the learning that I got was just like from watching Mercedes and having Mercedes like, you know, pick apart a match or just give me advice. But there's not a million Mercedes in the wrestling world, right? So I think getting criticism and perspective from like another woman, like woman to woman, is really
Mhm.
helpful because sometimes, you know, guys can explain it, but maybe just the way a girl explains it to you, it just makes it click differently.
Yeah, I mean, it's so important to get like we talked a lot about that feedback. I mean, you know, ROW is a huge part of your life, and as you said, coaching and training and kind of helping these rising stars be a part of this industry and learn. What is some of the advice that you've been given from Booker T or any of the other coaches and leaders at ROW?
I think like the biggest one with Booker is, you know, he would always say like it's not about the moves, it's about what you do before and after the move. And for years, that went over my head. I didn't understand what he was saying because I was like, well, I did a move before the move, and then I'm doing a move after the move. So, like, what are you talking about? You
Yeah.
know, I just didn't get it. And then one day, I don't know when he said it, it just clicked. I was like, You're right. It's about before the move. So it's not, your body language getting into it. How do you express yourself getting into it? And how do you express yourself afterwards? That's the
Mhm.
drama of wrestling, right? Um, and when he said that, it finally clicked. Like everything else started clicking. And what I found is a lot of people have had that same experience with Booker, is that he will say something and you do not get it. And you won't get it for like a year. And then one day it just all makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, you have those epiphanies.
Yeah.
There's a question in the chat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a
What's
good one.
Yeah, this is a really great one from Front Row. What's one match of yours that you are especially proud of that you would show new fans?
That's really hard. Um, I would say, actually, that's not that hard. I lied. I would say my 2 out of 3 falls match was Giselle at Ref Pro at York Hall. And um, I'm really proud of that match because when I first got to England, I met Giselle and we had wrestled for the first time. And sometimes when you wrestle people, you don't really know how it's going to go, just because, especially when you don't know them. And you can know their work, but sometimes, things just don't click. And with her and I, like things just clicked. And I wasn't supposed to have a storyline when I went there with her. But because our first match went so well, it turned into a storyline that kind of ended at York Hall. So that was the kind of period to that like long storyline, and it was really cool, especially with Andy, who's the promoter. He literally told us like, go as long as you want. And it's not every day, especially like at that place, at that venue, for him to be like, do what you got to do, and like, you know give it your all, however long you want to go, do it. That was cool to have like that kind of confidence from him to like be like, do it. And the match went so well. It was on my birthday and it was my last show there, and it just like, it worked so perfectly. Like afterwards the fans were sending me happy birthday and I'm just there crying, weeping, like, oh my god, this is the best day of my life.
That's amazing. So everyone should check that out. Yeah, you have so many matches, like such an archive of matches on YouTube. Like just go, you
I
you have
do.
so many incredible matches. That's
Well,
what's so exciting.
Rev Pro has a streaming service, but you have so much just through reality of wrestling. There's so much just
Yeah.
like high quality content. And that was kind of going to be my next question. When we talk about like Booker and reality and all your experiences there, it's like a very professional setup,
Mhm.
very like television oriented.
Mm-hmm.
How do
Mhm.
you Was that a skill that you like, how should I put this? It's not a different kind of wrestling, but I feel like people that come out of that situation are very polished, and they have to,
Mhm.
like, learn the TV aspect of things. How has that benefited you, do you think? Or is it
I feel like it definitely has. I feel like it's
Mm-hmm.
made me very crispy in the ring.
Mhm.
Booker has this like saying, and he's like, don't do anything in a match unless you can do it like 10 out of 10 times.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely perfect.
Mm.
And it was like a thing in training. Like if you wanted to do something in a match, like your trainer would sit there and watch you do it 10 times in a row. And you had to do it 10 times in a row perfect before you could do it in a match.
Mm.
And I think that really helped me a lot. And with Booker School, like it's not a 6 months and you're done type of thing. It's like a constant learning. And like I didn't have my first match till I was training for 2 years, and not like 2 years on and off. Like I was training every day for 2 years
Wow.
before I ever had a match. And in a way, like I think it may have hindered me a little bit just because I wasn't out there on the independent scene quickly. But I feel like when I did get on and I started having matches, my fundamentals were really well and I
Mm-hmm.
could take care of myself. I had really good body control. Just the psychology was off, but the moves are
That
great.
takes time.
It was crispy.
Yeah. But I like how you were working smarter. Like you took your time. And I know Veda and we've talked a lot about this, that a lot of wrestlers jump into the like having your first match. And sometimes taking that time is really important, and making sure you're ready, making sure you do those fundamentals and having those fundamentals down 100%. so important.
I think the only other person I know that's had that same experience is actually Kylie, because Kylie trained for like 2 years before she ever had her first match.
Mm.
And she had her first match at Row and then like won the title.
Yeah.
It's like she's ready to go. 2 years
Yeah.
later, we know she's ready to go, and that's cool
Yeah.
though. 'Cause it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know, it makes sense, especially like there's a lot of, investment in someone in training them for that long, and then being like, okay, I trust you. You're ready. And I think that there's a lot of people that just gonna get thrown out there when they're not ready. And like
Yeah.
it shows care on the part of your trainers,
Yeah.
I think.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of kind of more training and kind of the work that you've been doing, I noticed that you were and participated in the seminar in LA at the New Japan of America dojo. And so as someone that understands how all of that works pretty closely, I wanted to get your take on that experience and what it was like.
It was super cool. So I have always like New Japan's their style of wrestling is like the wrestling that I love. And anytime I want to do any kind of match study, that's the first thing I turn on is like New Japan World. What are we watching today? You know? Um, it's something that I've always really, really enjoyed. And when I saw Kushida was doing a seminar, I was like, hell yeah, I'm going to sign up. And it just so happened that that weekend I already was booked to do a show in LA. So I was like, perfect. I'll do this whole weekend out of it. I like was able to change my flight to get there a little bit earlier. I did the seminar and it was split up into like an AM session and like a PM session. So I flew in that morning. So I was like, okay, I'll do the PM session. And then I get there and like there's like a wall where like wrestlers can like sign. And I saw Mercedes Monet's signature on the wall, and I was like, wait, she was here? And then the trainers were like, yeah, she was here for the morning session. I was like, oh my God, I missed her.
Oh,
I was
no.
so mad. But Kushida was super cool, man. Like he was really nice and I learned so much. It was cool because they were at the end of the seminar, they were like, all right, we're doing matches. And they just paired us off. Like we didn't get to pick our partner. And they had put me with one of the LA Dojo boys. And they're like, okay, you guys are first. And it was just like, okay, we had to just call the match on the fly, have a 5-minute match. And I was just so stressed, but I was like, all right, here we go. Like, let's kill it. And it was so much fun. Like, I ended up taking what I learned from that seminar and I actually went to training that following Wednesday. And I was like, all right, guys, we're going to do the Kushida seminar here. I have it all here.
That's
So it was
amazing. I
really
mean, that's
cool.
what it's all about is you bring it to others and you bring it to the work that you do every time you get back in the ring and prepare and kind of like get mentally ready. So that's amazing. I'm so glad you were able to participate.
Yeah, me too. It was a
Yeah.
really cool experience. And being able, a big part of wrestling, I feel like that people kind of don't realize is the networking aspect. And
Mm-hmm.
it's always cool to meet other wrestlers from different parts of the country, who maybe you've never heard of before. And you can be like, hey, like, when they blow up, hey, I met you at that like LA Dojo seminar. Like, that was cool. And just making those connections with people is really important.
Yeah, definitely. So I know that you've known Brian and you've seen Mission Pro grow over the course of the last few years, and you've seen talent come in and out and grow the women's wrestling across Texas. And so I wanted to hear your take on how you've seen the evolution of Mission Pro grow. And you are coming into Mission Pro on April 22nd, Edge of Glory. It's a big deal. Everyone's really excited to see you. We haven't announced any of the matches yet, but I wanted to get your take on if you have an eye on anyone, because you've been watching from afar.
Yeah, absolutely. And it, like you've stated, like it's been a long time for this debut, especially as someone that, is acquainted with the Texas wrestling scene. This is very, very long overdue. And someone that I've actually had my eye on, who has been dodging me, by the way, is Genocide. I have tweeted at her, I've messaged her, hey, like, when are we going to get a match? And Nothing. So now I'm coming into her home turf. She's the champion. That's who I want. And she can't dodge me anymore.
Wow.
Ooh.
And
And
for her to
Emily,
be the champion, that's the cherry on top.
I mean, that's a really, I mean, we got to talk to Mission Pro management, but that's a really big statement because Genocide is, our Mission Pro champion. I mean, Brian, yes, she wants Genocide.
I mean, we've seen too, Emily, like things get really heated backstage sometimes if people don't, if there's these very extreme personalities, like I don't know. This might be something to sanction. I'm just saying.
I don't know.
For Emily's safety in the locker room where we constantly trying to do interviews.
I know, for the safety of everyone in the locker room. I mean, we saw last show that Misty Marks showed up and attacked Vicky Dreamboat out of the blue. Vicky could not compete in the match. She was upset about obviously coming to, Texas and having someone outside of Texas wrestle at Mission Pro. So is that like how you're feeling, Hyan? Like, Genocide is our champion. She comes in and she's been with us since the beginning. So
the thing with Genocide is I met her a long time ago. We have history. So I'm sure you guys remember Rise. I met her back at a Rise seminar. And when we were doing Sparkle matches, and I've seen her evolution. I know what she's capable of because I've been following her career. But I've been asking her, when are we going to do the match? And I feel like she just has this ego about her that she doesn't want to step in the ring with me. And I think it's because she fears me. And I feel like now we're in a perfect situation where if she wants to be the fighting champion that she claims she is, then have this match with me now. I've been wanting it. I've been asking for it, and you've been dodging me. Now you have nowhere to go.
Well, the chat wants this match. It is overwhelming.
The chat is on fire.
This is what people want.
I mean, I guess I think the only thing we can do is, I guess we can talk to Mission Pro management and then, see kind of what to do from there. Everyone's demanding that MPW needs to make this official, but I think management needs to meet on this. Because you were demanding to have a match with the champion, that's a really big deal. Mission Pro does not take that lightly.
And, I understand that there's girls in line that want to have their shot at the title too. And that's not, disrespect to them, but I feel like my work stands on its own. And if she wants to be a fighting champion, if she wants to be a respected champion, she should face me. Like I said, she's been dodging me for years at this point. And I find that to be quite disrespectful.
Okay. Well, I officially just got a message from Brian and from Mission Pro management, and he literally just put this in the chat, but he did message me that, Hyan, we're going to make it happen. Genocide versus you at Edge of Glory for the Mission Pro Wrestling Championship.
Now, I am interested to see what Jenna has to say. Not only now finding out her challenger, but I mean, I know you're not scared, but she's going to go back and watch this, I'm sure. So,
we're going to have to, she watches this. We're going to have to clip it out and send it to her because Genocide does not take, I don't know how she's going to feel about this.
And I love this. We're still 2 months away, so I think this is just going to get more heated. All right.
Styles.
I don't know. I am worried. I am very worried.
Here we go.
The chat is going crazy right now. Yes, Brent wants a face-to-face with both of you. Well, it's gonna happen.
Well, we were wondering when we were going to start being able to, confirm matches for this upcoming event.
Well, that's
we're
our
going to
first
start
match announced.
Yeah, I was thinking it would just, we start out with a little trickle, but no, we're laying it all out there.
We're going in big.
Here we go.
Jimmy crack corn. That's a name right there. Hyan needs to jump genocide backstage or in the parking lot. Why are you giving her ideas?
No, it's not a jumping situation if you've already warned Jenna in the chat.
And I don't want her to come back with an excuse to be like, oh, I lost because she jumped me in the parking lot or whatever. I don't need to get that competitive advantage on her. I want her 1-to-1 in the ring. That's what I want.
I mean,
and
I
let the better
respect
woman
that.
win.
Calling her out, 2 months ahead of time. There's no shock, no surprises, plenty of time to prepare. You talked about tape study and things like that. I mean, I feel like that is the most, fair match that we can possibly get, the best situation we can possibly get. I am pumped for this.
I'm really excited for this. I'm glad that Brian did the right thing. He did the right thing. He booked this match. Okay. And I feel like it's a match that fans are really going to want to see. Styles make fights, right? She's a powerhouse. But I'm the Renaissance woman.
Hell yeah.
So let's see what happens.
All right. Oh my goodness. Brian mentioned that he's seen you go to war many times before this, and it's going to be one hell of a main event.
Oh, so I got the main event spot. Okay.
This is what happens when you shoot your shot.
I mean,
it's that confidence.
Champ.
You took that confidence and you went for it.
I really did.
This is what happens. Everyone is super pumped in the chat. Well, this is amazing. I mean, this is the first match announced through chat and through messages for Edge of Glory on April 22nd. So get your tickets, missionprowrestling.com, or you can watch it on Title Match because you're going to want to see this banger of a match.
This is one match to sell the whole show.
This is one match.
We've got one match announced, and it's enough
already. Just kidding.
Like this is one match that I think, like, legitimately, if it was all that was on the show, and it is certainly not, it would still be worth coming out for. So I don't know. You're gonna want to get those tickets early.
Yeah, I mean, we do have VIP tickets available, front row and second row. I believe front row is almost sold out, and we're 2 months out. So that's awesome.
We have some very, very faithful Mission Pro fans.
We do have
as you will get to know, people who come out event after event. They head to the merch tables, they support their faves, they check us out on the podcast. It is a very, very loyal crew, and they are very excited to see you.
So you got to bring all your merch, bring everything you have, boxes and boxes, because they're going to go wild for you.
I'm excited to meet these fans. Like, I've been following Mission Pro for a while, and I see the fans that tag me, and there's a huge fan base. I would even say a community. I wouldn't even just say a fan base. Like, there's a community there, and that's special for sure.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, we hang out here every Tuesday, and it's awesome.
We do. We hang out every Tuesday, and we also have a show on Thursday where we break down old matches and past shows. And there's such a great community. Everyone, watches all of our stuff on YouTube and comments and tags us and, tags us in all of the women that are like going out and doing these incredible things at other promotions. And it's so special. And it's such a beautiful thing that we have here. Brian, we are family.
I can't wait to see this flyer, but the official match flyer for this.
Oh yeah, it will be announced and released soon. I guess it's announced, so I gotta get my graphic designer to make it. Thanks, Brian.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're so excited to have you. So I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about some of the other exciting things you might be coming down the pipeline. So obviously April 22nd, you have Mission Pro. And then Veda and I and other wrestling fans saw some tweets over the weekend at the ROH tapings. And so I know you can't talk too much about it, but how exciting is that for you? And what can fans expect for this new version of ROH?
Man, it was a trip. It was really, really exciting. And just seeing like the new set for Ring of Honor, like the stage, it's completely different. It's not Dynamite, it's not Rampage. It is Ring of Honor, and it is in full swing. And it has Ring of Honor new and Ring of Honor old all mixed together. This is something completely different. And I was able to, talk to Tony Khan and see what he's doing in his vision. And I think what he has planned for it's going to be amazing.
Super cool. I mean, when we talk about like people in the chat excited to see you and Jenna, the internet was going nuts, trying not to like give spoilers away, but like was super excited to see like who was at tapings and who was wrestling who, and having you there in particular. And again, no spoilers, but like a match that you had in particular, people are very, very excited to see it. So I don't know. I feel like the buzz is going to just keep growing. Very, very cool.
I'm excited for the world to see this match because it was a match that I've always wanted, and it finally happened.
I love it.
And if you know me, you'd be like, "Oh my God, she finally got this match."
No, I love it when dreams like that come true, when like you manifest it and then it happens, and that's so special. And I know so many people are going to tune in and watch that. And that's we're like so many people are proud of you. And it's amazing that you got that moment. And that's just so exciting.
Yeah, this is going to be like so lame, but like I was actually talking to my husband. I was it yesterday, and I was saying like, dude, it feels so weird because like I feel like I have all these people like pushing for me and like just wanting to see me succeed, and it's like such a cool feeling, like all the warm and fuzzies. I even got like teary-eyed when I was like, oh, everyone wants me to succeed. It's so cool. So I'm really happy, and I'm still buzzing from this weekend. Like, you can't kill my vibe today.
Yay. And it hasn't aired yet. So I think we're going to get a whole new wave of excitement soon. And then I think it's just the beginning. So that is so exciting to see.
Yeah.
For sure. And you got this amazing match announced tonight. So this is like your week. So now you have to have a cool thing happen tomorrow too.
Just keep it going. Keep it going. Yeah, this is sick.
Maybe the cool thing could be, we're going to get into some fun little questions that we always ask our guests. I know you've done tons of trips in Texas, road trips, and I'm a huge Buc-ee's fan. I'm a newly converted Buc-ee's fan. What is your go-to Buc-ee's snack?
We ask everyone.
And we ask everyone.
I don't know if it would be like a snack, but I love their brisket sandwiches.
Oh, okay.
It's so good. They're so good. And like when you walk in, just the smell, I'm like, I need to get a freaking brisket sandwich. But sometimes I can't like get it before a show because I usually stop like at a Buc-ee's like on my way to a show. And it's not necessarily something I would want to eat before a match because I don't want to get all bloated and gross. So I would say like my second is always like a wrap that they have there.
Okay. You're not the first person to mention the brisket sandwiches either. I will say that.
They're popular. For sure.
It's funny because like Amira, who's like a wrestler from the UK, she came over to Texas for a little bit, and she like, I took her to Buc-ee's and her mind was blown. And she told me like maybe a couple weeks ago, she's like, I've been trying to find brisket in the UK, but they don't have it. And I realized it's because she's like, Americans put chemicals in their meats and it's like illegal in the UK. So we can't get it here.
Yeah.
So she's like, yeah, when I come back to Texas, I just want to eat more brisket.
So I hate to interrupt the snack conversation, but Brian just posted another Brian bomb, and that this match on April 22nd is a 30-minute time limit.
And apparently it is officially going to be for the NPW championship.
And it's,
So is it going to be a celebratory post-show brisket sandwich? Is it going to be you crying into your brisket? I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know. We're going to have to, we'll just have brisket on standby either way. We're just going to have brisket on standby.
30 minutes, man. I got to get my cardio up.
So you're going to have a lot of training to do in the meantime. You have a little less than 2 months. So you gotta get going.
I
Start
do.
now. Yeah, we're so excited to have you. This it's gonna be so exciting to have you here at Mission Pro. I know everyone's excited. Even we have a lot of young ladies that are up and coming in the wrestling industry that are excited, and I know that they'll be excited to talk to you and probably like pick your brain a little bit and
I'd love to. I
learn from the
love doing
best.
that stuff. I love like I love helping other wrestlers, but for some reason, like helping other women, like that's where I like it to be because I want the whole scene to just lift up, you know? Women's wrestling is very special. It has a very special place in my heart for sure.
Yeah, you're jumping right in the deep end with the champ for your Mission Pro debut, but I'd be interested to find out once this is all said and done, like who else you have your eyes set on in the locker
Oh,
room because it's nothing but talent. It truly is like just nothing but talent.
I'm excited. I'm very excited.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm gonna be like frantically lifting in the gym, like trying to get as strong as Jenna. Like
you have to like practice some kicks, and yeah, she's learning a bunch of different techniques, so you gotta up your game a bit.
oh, I know.
It's gonna be a battle. Well, Hyan, this was amazing to speak with you and have you on. All the Mission Pro fans, they love you already, and they want to buy all of your merchandise. So bring that with you. And where can everyone follow you on social media and follow all of these other new wrestling adventures you have going on?
I am on Instagram and Twitter. So my Instagram's at the Hyan, TheHyan. For Twitter, it is just at _the Hyan, spelled the same way.
Amazing.
Okay, I assume you're already following her, but if you're not, get on that right now,
Get
please.
on
Thank
it.
you.
Get on it. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I know we kept you a little bit over time, but this was so special, and you got to learn your match.
I got to shoot my shot.
Yeah, you did for sure.
Debuting in the main event. Wow.
All right.
Incredible.
Well, congratulations, and we'll see what Genocide has to say.
Thank you. I'm excited.
Thank you.
All right. Good night.
No.
Wow.
Oh my
That's
God, Vita.
crazy.
So many Brian bombs tonight. So much news.
Like you said, Emily, people have been, demanding that we have Hyan in Mission Pro for so long. She's just so busy. Finally, the dates are able to work. And, she took full advantage of that. And, I think the fans were right to request her because they're about to get an incredible match.
An incredible match. This is, I don't know. I don't know if this is, I don't want to call it. I don't know if it's going to be match of the year.
It's crazy.
I don't know.
We know the main event championship match 2 months early. So everything's just going to build from there. So if you had it, not that you would have any doubts, but if you had any doubts, we know our main event and it's going to just keep coming together from there. So get ready.
Exactly. So you guys follow Mission Pro socials, follow all of our content because that's where you'll see the rest of the Mission Pro Edge of Glory card and matches be announced. And that's where it's going to be that's all the scoop. That's all
we're gonna start getting a lot of questions from the entire rest of the roster, wondering what their matches are. I don't know if there's gonna be more challenges. I don't know. This is gonna get very heated.
I don't know. Like, I'm worried I'm gonna leave here and get messages from Mission Pro roster saying, "Hey, I've been here for a year. What's up with that?" I'm worried. So I'll let you know next week.
Well, this is no disrespect to anyone else on the roster, but Hyan took her shot. Like, she used the time. She made the case. She made the case that she has known Jenna for many, many years. She pointed to all of her accolades. She's an international star. Like, she made the argument.
Yes.
And judging by the reaction in the chat, I would say it's a match that everyone wants to see. So again, no disrespect to anyone else, but if you're gonna bring it, you have to back it up too.
I mean, it's true. She backed it up. She showed what she can bring. I think Brian is right. I think Jasmine might be one of those people that might not be so happy about this. She's been here from the beginning, has had, her title shot. It hasn't always necessarily gone well for her. So we'll see. We'll see what the reaction is. We're gonna go see online what that is, and I'm sure messages will be plenty. But if you guys have not gotten your tickets for Edge of Glory, April 22nd, you definitely want to get them now. Go to missionprowrestling.com. Watch it on Title Match Network. You can follow Veda on all of their socials. Do you want to plug any of your stuff that you have
Hold
going
on,
on?
my fingers are going the wrong way. It's
Yeah,
this
go
way.
on.
This way.
Wait, that way.
At It's Veda Time is my Twitter, and pretty much everything comes off of that. All of my other content sites and my Instagram and everything, it all sort of filters right through my Twitter. So I also keep track of all the events that I'm doing, where you can listen to me do commentary, watch me wrestle, everything that I'm doing. It all comes through my Twitter. So that's your best bet, is to just start there. And
There
then
you go.
we'll see where else you'd want to follow me.
There you go. Well, go follow Veda. Go follow Mission Pro. If you want to follow me, go follow me at Emily May Heller. And thank you all so much for watching On a Mission every Tuesday, where we'll have a special guest and break down the latest news of Mission Pro. There's a lot to follow, so thank you all so much. And we will see you next week.
Bye.